Hi, this is Mark Pizzacalla and welcome to 3 Minutes with Mark. Now, we're in lockdown again in Victoria, New South Wales. I'm not going to discuss that. What I will discuss is what is the difference between an employee and a contractor. Now, you might say, well, what's so exciting about that? Well, there's a recent case which has just come out called Elias, and it talks about a music school which engaged a music teacher to give music lessons. All good so far. And you might say, what could possibly go wrong with a simple arrangement like that? Well, plenty. You see, when considering whether someone's an employee or a contractor, it's critical because if you're an employee, as a business, you're entitled to provide them with employee benefits such as annual leave, and super is the big one, right? So if someone's a contractor, you tend to pay them a little bit more, but you don't have any of those other responsibilities and liabilities. Now, in the Elias decision, what I'm going to do is take you through what happened, and the starting point is common law principles about what is an employee. Let me just take you through what I think are some of the more important indicia from that case. The first one was, well, what were the terms of the agreement between the music school and the music teacher? Well, as it turns out, there was no written agreement, and so therefore the HL was saying, well, that looks like a bit of a casual employment type relationship. Whereas the music school said, well, hang on, the person had his own business, he could come and go as he pleased. Yes, there were some restraints around it, but he could choose his own hours, so therefore he was not an employee. Unfortunately, the tribunal decided that on that indicia, he resembled an employee. Now, the second indicia is exclusivity. In other words, can the music teacher teach anywhere else? And on this occasion, he could. And in fact, he had an advertisement on Gumtree. So pretty clear that it wasn't just at that particular music school where he was teaching. And so that indicia led towards the conclusion that the music teacher looked more like a contractor. The third indicia is delegation. In other words, can the music teacher delegate, I should say, the job that he was doing to someone else? And as there was no agreement, technically, I guess the music teacher could have. But the commercial reality of the situation was that when there was a music lesson, the music school expected him to show up for that lesson. So again, it looked like an employee relationship. What was the method of payment is the fourth indicia. Well, the method of payment was a fixed sum per lesson, leans toward an employee relationship as opposed to being paid on a per task type situation. And last but not least, did the music school have any control over the employee? In other words, if you're able to control the person, then they would be an employee. Well, they had some control in terms of the time they had to show up for the lesson, the duration of the lesson, location of the lesson. Sure, the music teacher could decide for himself about how that was going to be taught, but nonetheless, it leans toward that person being an employee. So look, when you look at all these indicias together, the conclusion from the tribunal was that the music teacher was in fact an employee. What are the key takeaways? Well, number one, always have a written agreement. Make sure that written agreement resembles what's actually going on factually, right? Number two, consider the indicia that we've just been through. When you stack them up, does it sound like the person's an employee or a contractor? And last but not least, get a payroll review done if you haven't done so already, especially in relation to those people on your books that are on the fringes, that are not permanent employees. Some of them may well be considered to be contractors. Look, really important issue. Thanks for joining me today. Any questions, by all means, give me a call and let me know. Hopefully the COVID madness will be over soon and we can get back to in-person events. Speak soon.